Okay, so the issue is these tires are a lot wider and taller than your stock ones. And so what we're gonna do is, where it's rubbing inside of here, we're gonna trim that in, and especially through the back, there's a little bit of rubbage on this piece of plastic before it's on the wall. So this plastic is mainly where it's rubbing, and we're gonna turn the tire and get at this here and see where it's rubbing. And then cut it back. So you can see here that it's mostly on the mud flap where it's rubbing. And this is an aftermarket mud flap, so what you can see, obviously, where it's clean is where it's rubbing. So we'll pull that screw out and we'll cut all the way around there and then turn and see if we have any issues after that. And then in the front, you can see right there where it's rubbing in the front, but it's not that bad, so we might just leave it alone, take it for a test drive when we're done. But this side, the passenger side, seems to be the worst, and it's especially when you're backing up, and I think that's because these knobs are clicking against this, like cards in a spoke. So we will cut that back. Okay, let's see if it's still rubbing now. There's still a little bit of rubbage there, it looks like, so we might just Dremel this half back a little more. Yeah, because you can hear it wanting to. Not through here, I think. Careful with the side. Should suffice, because by the time it hits here it should be out of the way, and we can still have a full mud flap back here. That's better. You know, this will flap here, but we'll figure out a way to taper this back somehow. Maybe put a screw right through here. So that's done rubbing, as far as I know. Let me get this turned through here. See how it's still very close to this wall here, but if we can leave that alone, we will. It was definitely the mud flap, so if we can leave that alone, we will. Just barely the clearance there. We might be able to get away with that. Oh, let's see. Yeah, you can kind of see through here about how much clearance we got here. That screw is going to be really close, but we'll see. I think we're going to clear it. I think we'll be all right. So let's go to the other side now. We'll cut the other side and go for a test drive. So you can kind of see how much wider these tires are from a stock factory tire. They stick out pretty far off the lip, so you actually get some great curb protection, not only on the lip itself here, but on the whole tire. I mean, you look at it from the side, that's a good almost 3/4 of an inch of protection, and this is a 6-ply tire, so it's a good tire, and you can hear it rubbing in the front there a little bit. That's not terrible. We're gonna cut back this mud flap like we did the other side, and then we'll go for a test drive. Okay, so basically what we found is these are aftermarket, there's the Universal Rally Armor mud flaps. If you don't have mud flaps on your vehicle, on your Outlander Sport, you should be fine. As far as this goes for rubbage, you won't really rub too much. You might rub on this plastic wall, and you can cut that back if you want, but I don't think it warrants, it doesn't rub enough to warrant a need or necessity to cut, because this is the mud flap that I had cut here back, and this is where it's kind of starting to rub right there on the inside on that. So this is the factory liner, so you're gonna get a little bit of rubbage right there, but honestly it's just when you're backing up and mostly when you're backing up on the backside, because the car tends to squat down when you're backing up, and it's only when you're cranking it really hard. You know, otherwise when you're driving, it's not even gonna come close to it. When you're driving straight or going faster, even around a corner faster, it's not gonna, especially forward, you're not gonna have that much issue. On the front, is where you might run into some issues. You can see where it's rubbing. This is the factory piece. What I don't really want to cut that open if I don't have to. I mean, if you're okay with the rubbage, like I said, it's only when you're backing up like full tilt. And these are pretty beefy, knobby tires. You can see, you know, how much thicker this tread pattern is versus the stock tire. I mean, that's a pretty beefy tire compared to what the stock tire is. And you could go maybe with a 245, just a little smaller. They're a 45, but we wanted to go the 255, 55, and that's about the max that you can get away with without modifying anything else. Again, with this, what I was thinking about doing is taking a screw on either side and kind of maybe driving one through here and here to kind of pull that in. But you're not, I mean, you can see right here, you don't get too much play. And it's not even rubbing that bad. And like I said, if you cut it away, there's nothing really behind here. Let's see if I can show you under here what's behind this. You might be able to see. If I can get some light, there we go. That's the back side of it. And so there's not much behind it, but it just does keep rain and debris and snow and crap from reaching all of this behind here. So if it rubs a hole in it, you know, oh well, I guess. But I don't foresee it rubbing a hole when it's just a very small amount of time that it's rubbing, just barely when you're backing up. So I mean, if it really bothers you, you can cut it, but I don't think you really need to. Okay, so I did find that if you pull this clip out of there, you do get a little bit more space. If you were to push this forward, you can push this whole piece in and maybe re-drill a hole here if you wanted, or even screw it up tighter. But what you start to do is get this gap. I'll show you here. You can start to see the engine bay in there. So again, that's up to you guys what you want to do. You don't get, to me, you don't get enough space pushing this. You know, you don't get quite enough space pushing this to warrant this gap here, in my opinion. But again, it's up to you guys. Yeah, we're gonna do this.